All right. So my name's Franklin Lujaja Luvuga, and I'm a fitness enthusiast. I can say that. I'm passionate about physical activity, rather physical exercise. I like to do strength training, strength and hypertrophy training, meaning that I work towards building strength and building muscle to just look good. And then I also like calisthenics, rather bodyweight exercises, just to have the freedom to move freely, to have that full range of motion, mobility work. About my age, currently I'm 40 years old.
My name is Mariam Gago. I'm 44 years old and I'm into Olympic weightlifting.
So my name is Brian Mahodho Munyi. So I'm 31 years old and I do MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling and some judo here and there.
My name is Celeste Masiga. Most people call me Lesty. I am 30 years old and I'm a combat sports athlete.
For me, what led to this is because I was a very active kid when I was growing up, and I liked to play football. And I was very physically active. But now, when I went to high school from primary school, that was about 20 years ago, and it was a bit hard for me to be listed into the games because you are really going in school with such big guys. I think it felt like bullying. So for me, it got me demotivated from participating in any form of sports, even though I did end up trying other sports like handball, basketball, but it made me fall off any form of sporting activity. And instead, after I finished my high school, through guidance from my fellow friends, I ended up loving exercise, other physical exercise.
I've been playing rugby for the longest time. It's a very popular sport here in Kenya. Since high school and university, I was playing rugby, so I thought I would go pro or at least semi-pro with it. But around that time, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So my training had to change, my nutrition had to change. And I also was falling out of love with playing team sports. So all that together just led me to an individual sport. Boxing and combat sports being that you don't need to eat too much, don't need to be heavy, and they are individual sports, I gravitated towards that more.
In 2015, I was doing a gymnastics program at one of the places I used to live. So there's a certain white guy who came to teach yoga, but he was doing some exercises outside the yoga that I was like, I've seen this somewhere, probably in like on YouTube. I've seen this exercises somewhere. So I asked him like, what are you doing? He told me like, this is like some jiu-jitsu warm-ups, and I'm like, jiu-jitsu? I'd like to do some jiu-jitsu. So in 2015, he got me through like the guard, open guard, full guard, and let's say back control. Then he like disappeared. And then the gymnasium closed. I had to like move from the place. And if you count my years, 31 and 2015, I was like really, really young. So in 2019, I was looking for like a jiu-jitsu gym. Then I found some guys called One Tribe Jiu-Jitsu in Nairobi. So that's where I started my actual jiu-jitsu journey. But was in contact with jiu-jitsu since 2015 all the way through 2019. Yeah.
Olympic weightlifting, I joined officially last year. I joined the national team, and I joined it because after engaging into weightlifting, I saw the benefits. As a master's category, you had my age, and I just fell in love with weightlifting, to be honest. Yeah, I love challenges. Yeah, and it's challenging.
My number one goal is to have that range of motion. That means that I can move freely, I can move my body freely without struggle. And that has led me into learning things like calisthenics and gymnastics, those things that need you to use your own body to have that independence of body movement. That is the greatest for me.
Right now, I'm in a program that's under coaching. That means that I'm gonna be a coach in the future under weightlifting. Yes, I am a coach. I am a weightlifting coach. but I want to go internationally, and I'm on that track right now. I'm gonna be doing a very major exam coming up next month, which is very key to me. Yeah, and after that, yeah, I'll be out there in the world.
Most of them I haven't yet achieved, which I think is a good thing because we need some sort of motivation, which I feel like the fact that I haven't achieved my goals yet motivates me every day. I definitely want to be champion in at least 3 of the combat sports that I'm training at and competing at. Whether it's national level, international level, I'll be happy if I can scale the highest heights of those sports. And I would also like to be a successful coach on the same front. I'd like to coach some champions, coach people who are also motivated and striving to achieve and scale those great heights.
As they always say, jiu-jitsu is a journey, but honestly, everyone's goal is to get to that black belt. It's a form of, how can I say my words? It's a form of glory to get to the black belt, but in between the journey, like there's things you learn, and there's a person you become inside the sport or inside the journey, that there's small goals that you get to achieve in the journey that are more fulfilling than getting to the belts or to the black belt or to the highest of the sport. In the period that I've been practicing jiu-jitsu, I've even started my own school, like in the period I've started jiu-jitsu. Like so many things happen in between that journey, but now where I am at my journey, like I feel the best because I have my own students, and my students are really, really, really good at jiu-jitsu. And my style of teaching jiu-jitsu is really, really showing in my students. So that's my journey. That's what I count as my journey. So even if I never get to, let's say, the form of goal that jiu-jitsu practitioners call the mountain, the goat of the top of the mountain, I'm really good at where I'm good at where I am, and I'm pretty sure like that will continue in my journey. Yeah. So my goals are not yet met, but the ones that I have achieved, the small goals that I've achieved, I really take, let's say, not pleasure. I take, what's the word? Glory in those goals. Yeah.
Challenges from the beginning was just being unfit. Number 2 was where I used to live then was way too far from the gym. That was another challenge. Number 3, when I started, I didn't have the support system that I needed mentally. Yeah, that was a challenge. And just figuring out what I want. It was also a challenge, which is less spoken about. Yeah, and just getting the right guidance, yeah, into fitness. But once I got to understand myself and what's going around me, it changed. And then the other challenges just came up as the common ones. Yeah.
The distance from the dojo, the training facility to and where you live, that really stunted my progress for a while. For me, it's those two. Like, it's not even time; it's the distance to the place. And then now, I was a bit younger when I was a bit older when I started compared to the guys who start, let's say, martial arts. Like I started martial arts, let's say, at 25. I never did martial arts before 25, so it's considered old to start martial arts at that age. But I had a younger mind, so that wasn't a problem. But I find if I look at it introspectively, I think that played a big role starting martial arts a bit older.
You see, when you're growing up, your parents, even you, I know, your parents, they want you to be educated and be a doctor, a pilot, an engineer or something of the sort. At least our parents, yeah? And you know, as kids, when you're growing up, you're limited in very many areas. For me, education and just digging my head into books was really hard because my level of concentration is very minimal. So I found it very hard to go through primary school. It was easier, but when I went to high school, it was so hard for me to have that concentration. And that is when I realized that for me, sitting down and just listening for hours, or even working in an office where you have to work from 8 to 5, it was going to be a challenge. It was going to be a big challenge. But by then I did not realize that. I kept on pushing and pushing myself, because you have the support of your parents, your brothers and sisters, even friends who are encouraging you to read. They just want you to be this person who is educated and all that. I don't mean that people who do fitness are not educated. It's just that I get to be in the field more, doing the practical part, than just staying in an office where you'd have to write all the things. So making this decision came very late in life, when I had already gone to college. I've done a few courses here and there, which are information technologies. So when we got from high school, information technology was really a top-notch course. So every young guy wanted to do that. But I didn't realize that that wasn't my passion. Then I loved art and I loved creativity. So for me, after that, I thought, oh, now if information technology is proving so hard, let me try something else. Now I ventured into architecture because it involved art. It was much better. That is when now I started embracing reading and studying and doing things. And I tried and passed well. But then still, even when I was doing my architecture, I realized that, because during that period, it was still the same moment whereby from my aunt's place, I was able to learn fitness and all that. I realized I had this drive in me to just do exercise. So I realized exercise came easy for me. So even when I was going to school for my architecture, I realized I would take a few minutes to just read about fitness. For me, it was just like maybe fitness is something you just go and train people in the gym. So I started moving around to gyms, and just asking for openings to go and coach people. That is no, you still have to go to school and get a certificate. So for the first time, I was so enthusiastic about going to school to just get a certificate to go and coach. So that was the first time entirely I felt like books were really good for me. And then I realized, oh, it was about passion. So that is when I made a switch immediately. Actually, I finished architecture, got a job. I actually got a job when I was doing architecture. And when my fitness course finished and I did an attachment, I got a job immediately. So I had an architectural job and a fitness job. So I had to choose. So I just had to make a bold move. Yeah, as much as most people think that architecture pays a lot, for me, I had a vision. And the vision wasn't pegged on money, it was just pegged on passion. I did not even think or care if I'll get clients. I didn't even know the fitness industry. For me, it was just passion. You do this for passion, teaching people about exercise, learning new things, because I would create a lot of things in terms of exercise. So my head was just like, this is now your passion. I didn't even think about money. So I had to stop architecture, stop school, and just shift into fitness, as automatic as that. And since then, it has just been magic.
The number one challenge that comes from combat sports, in my opinion, is the demand for discipline and self-control. Considering it's an individual sport, you are the most accountable to your training, to your recovery, to your nutrition, to everything revolving around how you participate in the sport. And the sport is so demanding that if you want to progress, if you want to grow and properly understand everything about the sport, you need to consistently train. If not every day, at least 5 times a week or 5 days a week. So that being the case, you also have to learn how to train with or without injuries, with or without sickness. So my biggest challenge is what it takes: the discipline to show up, the discipline to fight past your boundaries, and also the discipline to literally fight.
Let me take you back on that, why I started it, why I started fitness in general. For me, it was prescribed by a doctor. Like, I was very sick. That was how many years back? maybe 16. I have 5 kids. So I had my 5th born, and I was diagnosed with arthritis of the back. And from there, my health went down the stream. I had problems with my heart and so many things. Yeah, I don't want to go to that history. But after the prescription, that's where I took a turn. I had to. It was no option. I had to start, change my lifestyle and change my health. So I just started with jogging. I almost died. And I love training others. I love passing it on. I just love coaching.
To be honest, I do not like exercising. To be honest. And with sports, you'd expect a sports guy or like someone who does any, like let's say, martial arts or fighting or just grappling, something, just this grimy contact sports, like that's the most motivated guy, that's the most disciplined guy, honestly, it's just character. I'm not, or like personality, not even character, personality. Like, I like doing things that I'm comfortable in, but now with jiu-jitsu, you can't be like that. You have to change, you have to like continue working on the skills so that you're not left behind. So what I did is, what I do is intentionally set certain parameters around me that make sure that I achieve whatever set, let's say, exercise or workout limits that I have to hit.
I've seen good results out of it. That's why I'm very enthusiastic about it. I feel my body is free. I feel my body is stronger. I breathe well. I move well just because I look good. And I'm always motivated because also number 2 is it's my career. It's something that feeds me, it feeds my family. So I'm always upbeat and waking up just feeling like I need to do this. And the level of agility that comes with it, and the mental focus and the level of discipline that it brings in my life, it brings a lot of organization. I feel like the introduction of exercise into our livelihood has really helped to put me in order, to give me a vision of where I want to be, and to give me that hope that I can live a healthy and a fit life. So I look up to that every single morning, and I try to do those things that will not hinder me from achieving that goal of staying fit and all that.
So the number 1 thing is obviously my goals. I am still very far from achieving them. And I'd say number 2 is my lifestyle. Even before combat sports itself, I was very active. So even if it wasn't combat sports I was doing, I'd still wake up looking to do some level of activity, intense if it can be. And that's my biggest motivation, just staying fit, staying athletic. Also considering my diabetes diagnosis, it's best for me to manage my blood sugars if I'm active very regularly and basically every day. So my health and my lifestyle are my biggest motivators.
So how many times for me, I don't have a number. I can work out 7 days, I can work out 6 days, I can work out 5 days. On the lowest, I can work out 3 days. Now, I'll explain why. So, with exercise, recovery is okay. And especially because I'm an ectomorph, a skinny person, so we need more recovery. Like, you don't want to just work out every day of your life. Because I do strength training and hypertrophy, meaning you want to grow, build strength and all that. And with that, your body needs recovery. So I listen to my body a lot, how it calls itself every other day. I don't tend to like put a specific day that I say on this day I'm going to rest, because sometimes you wake up on that day and you feel so energetic and you just want to go and walk and do something.
As much as I can. But every day. So Mondays I usually have morning sessions. Tuesdays I have classes. Wednesdays I have evening sessions. Thursday I have classes. Friday I have morning sessions. Saturday I have like open mat. Which is like a group of a lot of grapplers just come and just grapple in one place for a long period of time. So that's like an exercise. And Sunday I usually train with my family. So I try and train every day. Not as hard as every day, but I have days that I train really hard. I have SNC days, I have things that just make the jiu-jitsu better, strength days, and days just to explore, just play training. Like the days I train with family is just play training. Yeah.
I used to work out 6 days, and then I toned that after joining Kenya weightlifting team. I toned it down to 4, of course, because of the program, which is good. It has helped me balance so many things, yeah, and also avoiding injuries. Yeah.
I train every day. I do at least something every day. It doesn't have to be intense. Sometimes I train twice, but I do at least something every day. For at least half an hour per day, I am burning calories.
So different days for me. Like these days after a workout, you're feeling like the reason why I did not want to come to the gym was because the universe didn't want me to feel this good, you know? Because these days you just wake up, you're like, man, I don't want to go to the gym. But now when you come to the gym, you're like, this is what I wanted. This is what I was about to miss. I'm glad I came. And then there's days that you want to come to the gym, and the fulfillment that you get from shooting out of whatever activity you're doing, training, getting out of the gym with, like, let's say, so much knowledge, so much awareness. I think for me it's always a win-win. It's never like oh, I'm so tired, I'm thinking of never coming back again. No, like for me it's always a win-win. Like I've never had days that I'm like, why did I even wake up and go to the gym?
It's the best feeling. I think every time I'm training or every time I'm coaching, I try to express that to the people I'm around, that there's a quote that we say in Swahili, tizi huisha, training always ends. So I try to use that quote as often as I can, either at the end or towards the end of a session, to just remind myself that this is the best feeling, the feeling of showing up, again, discipline, showing up, doing what you need to do, and then you get to leave and feel like you've accomplished and done what needed to be done.
Oh, for me, it's usually like, man, you're not even done, keep going. You see, like that's sweet, I like a lollipop. I call exercise, I relate exercise to a lollipop. You see lollipop, you feel the sweetness until you feel you reach the gummy part. So that gummy part is usually so sweet. You don't want it to end, yeah? So yes, you know it's you finish the sweetness, so you have to spit out the other thingy, but then you're like, okay, let me chew a little bit more and just have that imagination of sweetness in my head. So for me, exercise, the only thing that usually stops me from not overworking myself is the thought process that your body needs hard enough. I have to literally stop myself. But in my head, I'm always creating things like, okay, once I'm done with these legs, I can do some arms. Okay, I can do some body weight exercise. Okay, I can do, you might end up even working out for 4 or 5 hours, not knowing, yeah? So, yeah, I leave a gym feeling really fulfilled because for me, I give it everything.
After it's like an achievement, but in between, yeah, you're biting, you're fighting through. Yeah, but after, yeah, it's always worth it.
That's the hardest thing for every athlete. Having a balance. But if you can just change how you look at it and not look at it like it's two things that you're doing, your life and your sport are two things, or your life and your hobbies and your, let's say, the things you do for work are two things. These are constituents of your life. So they're the one in the same thing. So if you find a way to mesh all of those things into one thing, I don't think it can be hard.
I make sure that I create space for exercise. Every time I go, every time I have a challenge, every time I travel somewhere, the first thing I look for is a gym. The first thing I think of when I'm traveling or going anywhere is, where will you work out? Where will you do this? So it has become the first thing I think about because I've seen its benefit. I've seen that it keeps me healthy. If it wasn't for the normal flu and colds that we get, I rarely get sick. I don't remember the last time I went to the hospital. And I'm not saying it's purely because of exercise. Maybe it's just luck, but I feel it has played a huge role in keeping me healthy and safe. So in my entire schedule, that comes number one. I place it number one, and then everything else revolves around it.
I do a lot. I'm a jack of all trades. Ahmed, you got yourself into problems. I'm a businesswoman also, because as you heard, I have 5 kids. I'm a single mom, and I run a business. I run a gym. Yeah, women only, and I still have to be an athlete. So for me, it's managing time.
I think it's a good thing that my lifestyle revolves around, if not just the sport, staying active at least. So the other aspects of my life, like some of my hobbies are still active hobbies. Like I like to ice skate, which many people don't know is a workout in itself. So I go for runs. I've tried to hike a lot recently, so I think just my lifestyle away from combat sports, being active, helps both of the two, or everything about my life, look at activity as the main thing that I do.
Yes, very, very huge impact on the society.
In my perspective, the circle that I have, everyone does things around either the sport or the people around the sport. So I have guys in like my gym that, because of jiu-jitsu, started sportswear brands and sportswear kits. Like I'm even wearing one of the sportswear brands. Like this is him who did the branding for the gi. So in the same like environment, there are guys who do media and sport breakdowns for let's say for jiu-jitsu and for like let's say the sports that surround jiu-jitsu. So you see that guy just started his own digital space with the information he gets from jiu-jitsu or like the sport or the things that happen around the sport. So yes, jiu-jitsu actually does wonders for our society.
I think the impact that kickboxing can have could go both ways. Obviously, it being a combat sport and the skills that are taught and learned are violent. Depending on who's accessing and receiving the skills, they could use them for good or bad. But I would definitely hope that most people that learn these skills are using them for good, using them to make sure they're properly defending themselves or aware of certain situations that might turn violent. So I'm hoping that every sport, not just kickboxing or not just combat sports, can be taught to do good.
Once you wear the hijab, it tones you down. Yeah. And giving somebody that piece of, like, that peace of mind and space that, yes, I can stay healthy. It's not about looking good. Looking good is a bonus. Yeah. Now imagine you're not fit, your health is at risk, and you have no space to work out. The solution is here. I come to your place, you come to my place, you work out, I take you through everything, and you stay healthy and fit. So yeah, I believe it has, big time, I've seen it.
In terms of life lessons, I'll still go back to discipline, because as a martial artist, you have to really, really control every aspect of everything that you do. A lot of situations in life, especially if you're young, so many situations call you away from your responsibilities. Like now for me, I'm not only just competing, I'm a coach as well. So many situations away from what I do demand my presence, but I have to unavail myself in those situations and make myself more available to my coaching and to, again, improving my understanding of the sport that I play. So I'd say discipline, it's really forced me to control my time, control my energy, control my environment and surroundings, and focus on the things that I actually need to focus on.
So exercise has taught me to be disciplined and follow the things, work on the things that I wanted to work on. Because you see, with exercise, for example, you want to build strength, yeah? Now, if you don't commit to this strength program for the next 12 weeks or 24 weeks, then it means you won't achieve your goal. So it taught me to be very patient and step back a bit and follow a process. I don't like to follow a process. I don't like those processes. I don't like order. I like disorder. I like my mind to wander a bit. I like my mind to go there. I'm a creative person. So through that, I think that's just how I'm made. So it has taught me that humility and be humble enough to just stick to a plan. And number two, it has taught me how to go for things. I'm a huge procrastinator. I'm a person who says I'll do and I don't do. So now I use my own way. I use exercise as a way to push myself. Like, oh, you said you'll go and work out, you went. Now, why didn't you finish this thing that you're supposed to do? So I relate. So when I think of that, I relate exercise and the other thing I'm going to do, and I tell myself, come on, guy, you usually do exercise like that. Why don't you do the same? So it has given me the discipline to do certain things that I never thought I would do. You understand? To follow order and to just be in line and to accomplish things and to finish plans. Because you see, we always make plans but never end up finishing them.
What I've learned, garbage in, garbage out. What do I mean? Whatever you feed your body and soul, it's whatever you're gonna feed the world. It's whatever you're gonna give the world. It's whatever you're gonna give your family in the evening. So, yeah, stay clean. Mentally, health, even what you eat.
Let's start, let's say, with mentally. Like, I'll just use that model, the mental, the mind, body, soul model. So with the mind, just how much fortification of the mind I've gotten through, like, being in my jiu-jitsu journey, like seeing people that you started with just get accolades or like become really good at jiu-jitsu. You really want to do it, but you can't because now you're at home with like a cast on your leg, seeing your guys travel to go and fight in different countries. Like, you really need to have a fortified mind. So that built a lot of awareness on my part. Like, I was like, yeah, if it's not your time, it's not your time. So with body, like, I was not the most disciplined guy when it comes to, let's say, diet, working out, taking care of my body. But now, with the awareness I have about longevity in the sport, injuries, and just success in the sport, I've really started to take care of my body. Like, the past 1 year has been a really upward hill on how I take care of my body. And then the soul. The soul is, let's say, the relation the jiu-jitsu has to who I am, my character, my personality. I've really grown in that. Because you cannot grow in self if your jiu-jitsu is not growing. So if your jiu-jitsu grows, you start growing in self. And if your jiu-jitsu is stagnant and you're always like, oh, I'm the best at this, you can never grow in self. So, and growing in self is being aware that, like, you're not the best in, there's only someone who is better than you. Like, there's only someone who can do better things than you. Win or lose a competition, it doesn't change who you are. Losing certain things in jiu-jitsu or losing a round, losing 10 rounds, losing 50 rounds doesn't make you the worst at whatever you're doing. Finding ways to improve in how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you create boundaries around yourself, how you create boundaries around your jiu-jitsu. You're okay, yeah. So mind, body, soul, jiu-jitsu, a tick for me.
I can say yes, it's my full-time job. So I'm passionate about fitness and nutrition, basically, as a package. So I've revolved everything I do around fitness and nutrition. For me, even in terms of business and other things I do, they revolve around fitness because for me, this comes naturally. And it's my livelihood. I'm going to do fitness until I die. If it's not coaching, it's about teaching other people how to do, or even just creating content that is related to exercise, and also just coming up with principles and new things that are exercise related. So for me, this is a career, and at the same time, a passion that I live with 24 hours of my day.
I'll give it 9. Can I say 99? 90%. I can't say 99, but let's leave the business to the little percentage. Yeah, yes it is.
Yes, coaching is how I earn my upkeep. Coaching is how I pay the bills. Unfortunately, competing doesn't pay as much as coaching, but I'd obviously want everything that I do in terms of competing or coaching to provide some financial value. So I'd say yes. Coaching is how I pay the bills.
The gym is not the only thing I do, but it's one of the most important things I do for, even in my life, it's one of the most important things I do because of this people that come through this space. I'd like them to live better people. So I really put in work in whatever systems that are in that gym. Yeah.
Sports has definitely, number one, helped me connect with others because you're meeting so many like-minded people that like to train, like to stay active, like to get better. So it's basically already provided an opportunity to network and get to socialize. Now also doing those things together on a regular basis so that you keep each other accountable and grow. It's definitely had a positive impact on my connections. Now hopefully that just keeps improving and keep growing, because I guess being around people with the same kind of mindset, like-minded people, is the best thing you can do for you on a daily, regular basis.
Honestly, I could never have talked to you the way I'm talking to you right now. Yeah. So fitness got me to, number one, respect. I can lift weight that most guys cannot. Men, sorry guys, it's the fact, it's the truth. The moment you lift that, it's not ego, you attain respect. Like somebody is looking at like, this girl, this woman must have trained so hard to lift that weight. Instantly, instant. Nobody knows you. Just around the globe or anywhere you're lifting any gym, they'll be like, respect.
Sports led me to coaching. Yeah, and I was a very shy kid growing up. I was scared of being myself, and I think most of the people go through that when they're growing up because we come from different environments. And when I ventured into fitness and this type of sports, it really exposed me to meeting new people and all that. It actually built my communication skills. Since now I ventured into coaching. Now, when you're coaching, you're a motivator, you're an educator, so you just have to speak and communicate. And it has taught me a lot in terms of communication, in terms of listening to others, and in terms of expressing myself to others. It has taught me how to listen more, because my clients come to me with so many needs. And since I'm a motivator and I'm like an inspiration to others, I always have to give an ear and also give free advice. Through that, I'm able to relate with a lot of people and get to learn a lot of things and also teach a lot of things. And for me, if I wasn't working out, to be honest, I'll be such a lonely person in life, because I just like to be on my own. So this exposes me to the world and opens up my heart to other people, for people to learn from me, and I get to learn from other people. It has enabled me to create friendships, because I'm a very rigid person when it comes to creating friendships, because for me friendships mean a lot. And with fitness, and especially where I'm working out right now, I've been able to associate with a lot of people and open up and learn a lot about myself. And that one for me has really helped me to grow as a human being, and also to be a happy person and all that.
Yeah, it's the best. Because when you're training, when you're working out, there are hormones that get released. That, for instance, you have stress. I'll just sample it and simplify it. We have happy hormones in the gym. No scientific names. We call them happy hormones. you have stress. The moment you start working out, there are chemicals being released in your body. Yeah.
Long time ago when I started, I've not been a straight person, as in I've not had that perfect life. We all go through that. And yes, for me it was something that I couldn't do without. I didn't realize that it was helping me to relax and do all those things because it was just the passion and the excitement about it. But as I kept on growing and growing, I realized, okay, you really love the exercise because you're going through certain moments in life. So I will use that as energy to just go and train, even though it was not in the back of my head. Now I know. For me, it was just the excitement of going to work out. But I didn't know that maybe I was having a rough day, so it just brought me the excitement there of, now go work out, feel good. It was like an exit, it's like a let out thing for me, but I didn't know that then. I didn't know I was using that to distress myself. So I promised myself I'll never use exercise as an antidepressant. I'll use exercise as something to give me life and not something that I lean on to when I'm feeling low. So for me right now, it doesn't matter when I'm stressed up. It doesn't matter when I'm happy. For me, it's just the happiness of being able to wake up and work out and do something I love. Even though the greatest benefits of exercise for most people who have been there, who are going through such things, is to just work out. It makes you relax. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you have that self-confidence. It makes you want to wake up tomorrow and just go. It gives you energy.
Mental health awareness is, for me, is how do you build the body to where it does not give up on the mind when the mind needs the body? Because I feel like that's what Jiu-Jitsu does. So it builds up the body, then now in the building up the body, the mind has to work too, because they call Jiu-Jitsu chess. So you can't play chess. You play chess with your arms, with your fingers, but now the whole game is already set up in your mind. So the chess of Jiu-Jitsu builds the body first, and then with building the body, the mind is already working. So that's how I look at the mental health aspect in Jiu-Jitsu. Helps you build every aspect that is needed for you to have a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul, healthy spirit. Yeah.
I 100% believe that combat sports helps, if not completely, in a very big way, it does help manage stress and relieve it, because you're expending so much energy, and if stress sometimes leads you to violent thoughts or violent tendencies, it's the perfect opportunity, the perfect setting to release all of that. And again, look at your discipline and self-control to keep it limited to a training situation or competition situation, and not be out there in public just losing your self-control or losing your discipline.
It doesn't matter at all. It only matters if maybe for things like physical activity, if you started it late. Yeah, if you start your training when you're at 50, 55, 60, going up there, it's going to be so hard for you to, unless you have such a strong mindset and good guidance, it will be so hard. That's why you see most of the elderly people, they find it so hard to start training. And you'll find most of them avoiding those strenuous movements because they think they are old. But in real sense, it's just the body saying, I'm old. But deep inside, you can still manage to do these things. There are older people, almost 70, 80, 90, who are still doing exercise. And for me, it does not matter. I'm 40 right now, and clearly I can do things that 20-year-olds can't do. I can compete with young people. I can confidently tell you that. I can compete and win. It's just that now I don't have that competition mindset. So for me, it doesn't matter. What matters most is that you have an interest and you make a decision in your head that I want to try this and work on it, and realizing that exercise is very important for your life because it makes you move better. It makes you stronger. And you see, as you grow old, that is when you actually need exercise more.
No, look at me. Look, I'm a living proof. I started weightlifting at 40 years. Yeah. So age ain't nothing. Yeah.
I think age definitely plays a role in your abilities, physical abilities in general. If maybe someone was to ask me if it would be too late to start training combat sports or too early, I think there is no age that's too late or too early. You might have some pre-existing limiting factors, maybe hip issues or injuries, or you could have something like asthma that limits how much you breathe as you train and all that, but there's always something you can do. And since training is progressive, if you want to get better, you start with what you can do, you staying consistent, you keep increasing and increasing that workload. But there's really no time to start training. You're never too young or too old, unless maybe a doctor has actual medical proof to stop you from training.
For me, age, yes, age is just a number. As long as you take care of your body, because your body has systems to make you age less, first of all. Like aging less means your bones don't get as weak faster, your muscles don't degrade faster, your recovery is your recovery time is always at a certain wavelength. So I think those are the things that change because of how you take care of yourself. Yeah. So age does have factor, but does it matter? No. It does have a factor, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Absolutely not. I can't imagine my life without doing any physical activity on a daily basis. Maybe sometimes I think about retirement, so still maintaining my activity level without feeling the need to compete or test myself. But without training or burning calories on a regular basis, I can't imagine a life without physically testing myself to that extent.
No. I'll be, as I told you, if I was not doing this, I'll even be dead. Yes, I'm an overthinker. My mind runs a lot, and exercise has been a solace. I'd rather overthink about training programs, coaching people, coming up with new ideas, and thinking about other irresponsible things. So to be honest, for me, this exercise came as a savior. And I think it has favored me, because if it did not favor me, I'll be worthless. Yeah, I'll be worthless. I'm more talented physically and in my mind than any other thing. Yeah, I'm not the kind of a person who like to sit in an office and work. I like to move around. I like my independence, and exercise has given me that independence that I'm so attached to it. If you denied me that one today, I'm done. I'm completely done. So it's something I'm going to live with for the rest of my life, and that's why I keep on at least encouraging every other person, because I've seen the benefits of it. I've seen the benefits of it in terms of looks, in terms of general well-being and wellness.
No, I can't. I've been doing sports since I was young, and not because of, let's say, like the physicality of the sport. It's just the beauty. Like I'm a very artistic person, so I don't see sports in I see sports in another way. I see sports in the, let's say, the movement, like the style someone has playing, like the artistry someone plays with. So I don't see like the physicality. Even in my let's say in the sports that I've done, I've not been known to be the most physical, the most intimidating guy, in the room. No, just hey, that guy moves very well. Oh, that guy has the best style. Oh, that guy. So with me, sports have been very integral in my life. So I don't think I don't see how my life would be without any sports.
Honestly, no. No. Because I've seen how it has improved me. Why would I want to go back to where I was? Broken, sick, you name it.